Hi everyone, quick editor's note. So in this episode, unfortunately we had a camera glitch for the first 4 minutes where the guest isn't showing up on the camera, but about 4 minutes in, the guest appears back up. So apologies for that. But yeah, enjoy this episode. Hello everyone, welcome to Bees in a Pod. I'm your host Mo, and today we've got a temporary co-host.
I'm former CEO of the community and now full-time B co-host.
Resigned in disgrace.
No, very, very, very happy, guys.
And we got a special episode today, joined by the new young mayor, Fetuma. Thanks for that, Maran. Fetuma, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Fetuma and I am the newly elected young mayor of Tower Hamlets.
Amazing. So how we've been chatting, we started chatting already, but I think the first place I definitely want to go through is take us through your campaign journey, because I've been following you on TikTok, and I can imagine you guys had a very good team around you.
Oh, it was crazy. So I think the campaigning, well, we had a very big group of people that signed up to be young mayor. And then we got shortlisted down to 15 candidates. So then as soon as we got shortlisted, literally went home that day. I was like, okay, I need to start everything. Emailed my teacher. I was like, we didn't have school that week. It was like a enrichment week or something. I emailed one of my teachers. I was like, coming in tomorrow, are you free? Let's start this thing. Went in, emailed schools, took photos, started the social media platforms. And then I think I waited for school to start my TikToks. And it was every day private study. There was no private study happening. It was TikTok. And it was so funny because it would be my friends would be like, you have to make this video. I'm like, no, that is so cringe. I'd rather die than that video being up on the internet. You're gonna do it by fire, by force. And then it would just be a daily occurrence. If people saw us filming, they just didn't think anything of it. They're like, okay, it's just another regular thing. But
I know the feeling. I don't know. It's definitely improved my confidence, but also made me more aware of the power of the internet, because so many people have seen my videos. You haven't got a single video under 5,000 views.
Sugar.
Deep in that.
5,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for work already, I know a marketing officer who likes to dress up as a bee. I think you'll be a good replacement for that person.
Maybe.
I'm cool taking a role as a
I think it's just
bee.
recognizing, we all were I think we're all very internet addicted, me and my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it's oh, there's this trend. How do we change this to meet fit young mayor? And then it would just be random things that we'd see. Do you remember that ceiling trend that was going around?
Which one?
The one where you stick your phone on the ceiling and then it's you guys dancing. Yeah. So that one, we were that one will do well. So we literally went in school that Monday and we're oh sugar, the ceilings in our school are ridiculously high. And we have suspended lights. And we're okay, maybe we can balance our phones on there. We're no, we're not trying to die today. So I literally got one of my friends to stand on a table and film us from above.
Innovative.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Or I made a sign that said Fetuma for mayor.
I really liked that one.
And I literally went around to everyone and got a picture with them, and then I was okay, start.
That one was good.
Quick. Literally just upload all the pictures to CapCut and then they're done. The slideshow ones, they are so easy to make. You just need photos. I don't know if you realize I was literally just posting the same photo again and again. You know
what? You don't notice it.
I think I didn't even notice it when I was posting.
Yeah, people don't notice it because you're getting caught up in whatever the rest of the trend, because the trends are linked to the songs and all of that. Yeah.
I think for me with my campaign, it was more people are less likely to read the entire 250 word manifesto. And they're more likely to vote for someone they recognize. Mm-hmm. So while I incorporated a lot of my manifesto points into my videos and stuff, the main thing I did was they'll be making myself out there, because they'll be oh, I saw that girl on TikTok, I'll just vote for her.
Yeah. Well, not everybody, in fact, I don't think anybody put in as much work as Fetuma when it comes to your online campaigning, right?
Oh my days, I'm literally really scared.
It's not easy, is it?
I'm scared of digital footprint right now. I don't need someone to see that.
You know what? If there's any digital footprint, this is a digital footprint. If I ever go apply for another job, this is what they're gonna see when they search my name.
But honestly, huge thanks to all my friends and their crazy ideas. Did you see my Gossip Girl one?
I think so.
We literally thought of
Maybe.
that like the day before, and she was like, we need to do it now. And I didn't even know what she was talking about. I said, okay, just stand there, take all these folders, all these posters, drop them on the floor. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Thank you. And I actually did really, really well.
So you had PR, spin doctors, like everybody.
Everyone was on this. People would send me videos and be like, you need to make this tomorrow. And I was like, okay, we
It
will.
worked as well, you
It
know?
worked though.
It worked really well.
I think for me, the most important thing was having like a good community backing me.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like Fetuma needs to win. And I was like, okay, you message you people you know from this school. Things like that, getting in contact with people and stuff like that, encouraging them to vote as well. That's what really
does
worked.
the voting system, is it not like, it doesn't sound very well organized in schools then. So is it just...
No, it depends on your school.
Oh.
So every school was asked how many ballots they needed. And then they responded, they received the ballot cards. In fact, some schools didn't even get ballot cards. But they were asked how many ballots they needed, and then they were given the ballot cards. And then the ballot cards had like individual codes on them. And then you'd vote, put the codes in online and vote.
Oh.
And then what would happen is it was up to the schools how they distributed them. A lot of schools just gave them out in like form time and told the kids to vote. But we knew that if we tell kids to go home and vote, no one's voting. Literally nobody. It's going to scrunch at the bottom of their bag and literally never going to see it again. Because I know that's what I did. No offense to anyone who's...
So how did you work around that?
For my school, what we did was... Well, I made every like Mulberry Trust school do this. I literally got my head teacher to email them like, make sure you get all the kids to vote in school. But what we did was we got computers, went around every form and got the kids to vote right there on the spot.
Nice.
And I literally, I remember in the mornings I was going around with my phone and be like, they'll be like, oh, the laptops haven't come yet. There's literally 10 minutes left of registration. I'm like, pass my phone around, all of you go around and vote. I don't even care, just vote.
The dedication.
And then I just give them pack of stickers and leave.
But people are learning, right?
Thank you.
This is what it takes.
It does. It takes a lot. Like I remember there'd be days when I'd be running around trying to get people to vote. Like I remember the last Friday, that was the worst one because our school didn't have enough ballot cards either. Someone told them the wrong number. So what happened was last Friday, because all the ballots just got so mismatched, everything, we'd lost track of which forms had voted, which forms hadn't. We're just like, anyone who hasn't voted, come to E10 and we'll check if you're on the list of kids who haven't voted, because we kept track of like things. So we're like, it's hard to get them all in one place now. So we just do it in lunch. Whoever from those forms can come. My friends patrolled the whole school. If you're in any of these forms, they're like, anyone in 9 and 10 come to E10 to vote. And we were literally going around with a huge sign like, go vote, go vote. And then afterwards, we literally sat there, 30 computers open and all like logged in, everything ready on the website. They voted in and out, literally.
It's
we had
amazing.
at the end of it, I think we had like 10 ballot cards left
I'm
over.
learning so much.
Yeah, you guys literally organized, like you guys were democracy.
We had to, clearly. Do you know we got like interim reports like halfway through voting week, and there were so many schools that hadn't voted, and you'd see like the percentage for each school, and it was like 0, 0, 0. We're like, what is going on? I called up schools myself and I was like, hi, my name is Fetuma, I'm a young mayor candidate. And we received a report yesterday that you guys haven't voted. I was wondering why. And they're like, oh, we're going to vote next week. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but the deadline's Sunday. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll vote tomorrow. I don't know if they actually voted.
Wow.
I was like, I'd really appreciate also if you guys could vote, if you could encourage the students to vote for me. And this is what my campaign stands for. And they're like, your campaign sounds great. Thank you. We will. You've got our support. Worked.
Wow.
Literally, I didn't know. There were so many schools that I didn't know were partaking in voting. I never thought Madani, the Islamic school, I didn't think they would partake. They're an independent school.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, they're not partaking, otherwise I wouldn't go on. As soon as I found out, I sent them such a lovely email. I said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name's Fetuma Hassan. As I've always looked highly upon the work that happens at Modern. I do. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. Lying is haram.
That's right, kids.
That's right.
Lying is haram. But I was like, I'm always like, literally, you have to get yourself everywhere. That's what I learned. But yeah.
Wow. That's such an intense process. And
it was so intense.
You guys, oh my God. Now my respect for you was already here. And now knowing that you had to effectively force the process and the vote.
I literally had to force it.
I feel like voting right now. Like,
I want to vote.
I'm so hyped up right
You
now.
can't-
Like, if you had a ballot right now, I'd be like,
No,
I'm
but
voting too.
genuinely, like, even if you weren't, I didn't even, when I went around and I told them to vote, I didn't say vote for me. I said, just make sure you vote in general. I said, read the statements and vote. If we have time,
Engage.
read the statements. Because at the end of the day, this is your first taste at political engagement.
Facts.
If you're not politically engaging from now, what are you going to do in the future? You're just going to turn up to the polling station, tick a random box. Sorry, that's my life in your hands.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that was also really important. And like, just in general, like the hype from the school community was great.
Oh, that's
They loved it.
amazing.
They ate it up.
Can I
That's
ask
amazing.
one question? I don't know how this works, but this is the only question I'm probably going to
You can ask. It's
Alright, cool.
Yeah, ask as many as you like.
I don't know what happens when two Bs are trying to.
You're a co-host. It's just a title.
I just had one question for you because you said your friends are coming up with like so many crazy ideas, and you're
Yeah.
like, by the sounds of it, you're like, yeah, I'm up for it.
I was like, I hope
But
I'm
did they
down.
say, was there any suggestions that your friends made that was just too crazy for you? And you're like, I would not do that.
I said I wouldn't, but I did it anyway.
So everything. So you had
No.
complete faith in your team then, yeah?
I didn't. Oh yeah, I think there was only one thing that I completely turned down. I said I refuse to dance on the internet. That is one thing you never catch me doing. Because the thing is, I know my teachers are seeing this. Like one of my teachers was like, well, I was talking about it to one of my friends, and one of my teachers was there, and she was like, I want to watch your videos, and I said, search me up, you can find it. She's like, I was like, it's not weird because it's not like my personal account. Just go search it up. She's like, is it just like Fetuma for Young May? I was like, yeah, go. And then she watched my videos right in front of me, laughed her absolute head off. And I was like, I literally want to deactivate my entire account right now. What is this? And it's so bad. I was like, oh my day. She's like, you're like, and we have a joke that, because she's a millennial, so we always make fun of her for it. And she's like, you're so millennial in these. And I'm like, don't ever repeat that in your life. Please,
Wow.
like, I'll actually die.
Millennials are getting like that now.
Yeah, but like
No
literally
more baby boomer memes.
all
like
my
millennial-
all my teachers come for me for my TikToks, and they're like, Fetuma, these are like cinematic masterpieces. I'm like, guys, it literally takes 5 seconds for me to make. And I'm like, I think it's just you're not used to this app. I think that's
And
it.
don't break the illusion. That's my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I do. When Mo shows me something, I'm like,
It's really, I think they all were like so guys. Like, have you seen that Mean Girls one? It's like the
which
one where
one?
Fatima does this, so I do this, that one.
Yeah.
They ate it up. They were loving it. And it's like, there was this stupidest stuff like on there, like, oh, Fatima wears glasses, so I wear glasses. And I was like, you guys are
Fatima likes pizza, so I like pizza.
you know, you're selling yourself short. You know, like everything that you're saying is quite easy to do. I promise you, if it was that easy, you would have had like 50 candidates.
Yeah.
With an online campaign as professional and as slick as yours.
If you have the right support and if you think creatively, that's what you need for a successful online campaign. Thing with me is I'm not really much of creative. I can't draw to save my life. I can't sing, can't dance, can just about act maybe. But I think it was more like, how can I see something I'm consuming and I'm seeing that's doing well, and then change it to adapt to like fit a part of my manifesto or fit like a part of my campaign or something like that. So that was like how I went about it.
Yeah, it's resourceful. It's resourceful. You're taking
Yeah.
advantage of trends.
Take advantage.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
your aim
fine.
was to reach out to people, right? I loved what
Yeah.
you said earlier when you're like, I'm not trying to force people to vote for me. I just want people to engage in democracy as
'Cause they'll be
early
like,
as possible.
Oh, young mayor, what's that? And then they'll be like, oh, that's the girl I saw on TikTok. Let's read her statement. And then they'll read it and be like, oh, that's actually kind of good. Hopefully they said that. That's actually kind of good.
Well, it
Maybe we
shows
should
you know your
refer.
audience, right? The people that
Yeah.
you're representing.
Because I'm just trying to think about like how I would do it, which is really bad of me to admit. But like, if I'm in like when I think back to when I was in year 7, year 8, year 9, they tell me young mayor, I'm just like, I don't even know who. They'll do the PowerPoint. I'll be like, okay, whatever. I just choose on the day. I don't really care. But like we were never presented with like specific candidates. We were always given like this long PowerPoint with all 15 on it, and they were just like, oh, who do we even vote for? And then they'd give us the ballot card and no one would actually go and vote. But that's about it.
So how long are terms? Is it 3 years?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay.
And then why did you put yourself through it? I mean, you spoke about kind of what you did and what the process was. But again, like,
Why did I sign up?
Yeah, because I know, like, you put yourself through a lot. Like, you put yourself through a lot of effort. Trust me, like, I really appreciate just how much work went into this, because I
Thank you.
think you've been very modest about, like, just because you might have enjoyed some of that process, but that took a hell of a lot of work. And there must have been something, like, reasons that drove you to commit. So, like, what was it that just kept you going?
So I think for me, well, I'm doing my A-levels right now. I'm doing biology, chemistry and maths. Nothing politics, nothing humanities related at all. But I've always been like a very political person, where when I'm watching the news and stuff and I see stuff that I don't exactly agree with, or I just feel like the things being done are inefficient, I just don't want to watch you guys be inefficient. Like, it genuinely, like, it burns me inside. So it's always been like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go into politics then. But I was like, I think I wanted to be an MP. It's probably like 6 till I was probably till I was like 10. I wanted to be an MP. And then I thought about it and I was like, I could never handle that level of public criticism. Like, that would drive me to insanity.
Thick skin.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, that's not me. I'll start crying at anything. But so then I was like, okay, like, forget it. We'll just try and make an impact in another way. So then I thought, oh, I'll do medicine. And then for now, medicine's the dream. Hopefully it stays that way, please. I don't need another career change this late. And then it was like, okay, well, there's always going to be that side of me that loves politics. So then I was like, okay, I do Model UN in school, but then I was like, it feels a bit fake because it's just a stimulation. And then literally, I didn't even know that they were taking applications or anything. Like, I've been walking past this. I literally didn't realize I was walking past this huge Young Mayor 2023 sign until after I applied. And I was like to my friend, we're walking home one day. I was like, yeah, has that always been there? She was like, Fetuma, that's been there since September. And I said, I didn't even realize. I literally was one day at a training session for this other program I was doing, which was like this global girl leading program with my school. And I was like training for that because we were supposed to be doing like this breakfast session for schools like across the world at like 6 a.m. So they made us come in and train, whatever. And then I was doing that, and then my teacher was like to me, I can't wait to vote for you for Prime Minister. I said, I'm so sorry to break it to you. I'm doing STEM A-levels. I'm not going to be Prime Minister. And then she was like, oh, then why don't you sign up for Young Mayor? I said, I'll do it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, genuinely, I didn't sign up with any expectations or anything. And I was like, okay, whatever. I started the process. I just genuinely was like, this would actually be such a good way to start and end my political career. I was like, this fulfills one dream of mine, and it doesn't need to be lifelong, short-term commitment, and I get to make a big impact. And I think that's what it's been for me. It's always been like, if I'm doing something, is this going to make a positive impact? In what way? To how many people? Like, no matter what I do, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to make sure that, like, the way I carry myself in society and in public, like wherever I go, is like, am I going to make a positive impact on the people I meet? Or like, people have, like, just in general, making a positive impact in the places I go, like, even in the most random things. Like in primary school, I was on school council. They always used to fight about who's going to go on the football pitch. I said, why don't we split the football pitch in half and then have a rota? They still do it to this day. I left primary school, God knows how many years ago. And then so things like that, it's been like, okay, like, oh, how do I make an impact? So then this is like, oh, perfect way to make an impact in my local community and give back to like the place I've lived in so long, literally all my life.
What were you hoping to achieve? Like, because you spoke about impact a bit. Well, I guess it kind of ties to what your manifesto is, but what do you want to achieve?
So, for me making my manifesto, I can't lie, I went into it a bit blind. So I was like, okay, best way to go through this. I didn't really go in blind. I wrote down a list of things, and they were like three key things. And I said, okay, we've got to cut this down a bit. So I did research on like different facts about Tower Hamlets, and then I found like 3 really interesting statistics that like stuck out to me, and then I went based on that. So like my first manifesto point is about improving the quality of youth centres, like diversifying the opportunities in them, and that was based on the fact that Tower Hamlets is the youngest borough, and we're the youngest borough, but yet we still don't have like a lot of like the services to facilitate this. So like improving that, so working more with youth centres, perhaps working with schools to improve youth services, because youth services also are available in schools, but it's just clearly not here.
I see. Yep.
And then so they're also available in schools. It's just that we don't really work, like the council, well, they do, I think, but like also improving that connection as well.
Yeah.
And then my second point that I found was Tower Hamlets has the highest poverty rate. And I was like, okay, we have the highest poverty rate. How many food banks do we have? There are 46,000 people who live in poverty in this borough. There are 8 active food banks.
Wow.
8. And while giving every kid free school meals was like amazing step, genuinely, the impact is crazy. But breakfast clubs aren't mandatory. Food banks, we don't even know where they are. So working more with schools, like my school served as a youth centre in the pandemic. So if schools can do that in the pandemic, why can't they carry on now? Even if it's at a lower rate, but are more widespread, then it should be able to continue. So also that. And then my last one is climate action. So Tower Hamlets has the 5th worst air quality in all of London. And we're right next to the one with the worst. And apparently as a result of this, we're the most likely population to die from pulmonary, lung and heart disease. Wow. So improving the quality of green spaces and implementing more eco-friendly initiatives in schools to encourage more young people to take more climate conscious choices as well in their lives. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, those are some strong
It's really diverse.
Yeah.
Like, it covers, I mean, those are things that affect every person in Tower Hamlets, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has like a universal appeal. So if you can tackle any of those, everybody benefits essentially. And just showing that young people are at the forefront of tackling these big issues is exactly how it should be. Fresh ideas and energy and just relentlessness. Like, we're gonna make change, right?
Yeah.
Super cool. Love it.
Yeah. So like what kind of steps? What's next, I guess? Because you've just been elected, right?
Yeah.
I don't know whether we can speak about the training.
Like, I'm trying to read his mind through this.
The training that we're doing with the youth, the young mayor. Because they told them about it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
We're really keen to do that. But that's just us doing like leadership. What is leadership?
Yeah.
What is a leader? How are you going to, work towards achieving your pledges, and understanding system change, that kind of stuff. So it's an introduction really, because there's only so much you can get done in 6 weeks, and a level playing field, because everybody's coming at it with different skill sets, different understanding, different wants, needs. So it's so good to hear that the team's already like gelling, and everyone's getting along with one another, like people that you're going to be working with, right? So just making sure that you're kind of on the same page, you have a similar level of understanding in terms of how the process works. What is the process? What needs to change? When, this is the process, it's not good enough, I'm going to change this, I want to kick this door in. And who are the, connections that you need to make? Not everybody's good at networking and making connections and building allies as well, because no one person can change things. It's about getting everybody on board. So haven't signed official paperwork yet. And we're just in enjoy. They're just waiting on some details from my end. And then we're also going to be working with, hopefully, young people in care and young carers as well, because just engaging with young people at all levels. So everything you said, it's like, after this conversation, and we need to tell Fetuma about food, like our food cult, which is 100% organic, our Be Green Climate Action Program. I was like, oh my God, it's like,
there's a lot of places where we're
just hidden away in this little corner of Tower Hamlets.
Why are you guys so hidden away? I had to trek to get here.
So
I don't even know how I'm gonna get home.
But my eyes are this wide when you're saying how you amplified, like what you're doing and engaging with people. We're doing a lot of that. I'm not gonna lie, but we're here to learn, right? So like nobody knows what's happening in this little corner of Tower Hamlets, and hopefully we'll get to know one another better. And if you like what's going on here and you think it will benefit young people, because the aim is mutual respect, right? You don't promote anything you don't believe in, of course, but hopefully if you get to know what's happening here, like these guys are actually doing something valuable, we'll love to just connect beyond outside of this to help us reach all those other young people that you've already forged connections with. But there is so much that you're talking about that I'm like, this is amazing. Yeah.
Are there any personal kind of experiences that have kind of ignited this kind of passion in you?
I'm trying to think.
At 6 years old, what made you want to become an MP?
Yeah. I actually don't know. I was moving.
Are your parents quite political? Or like at least like socially?
Not really, but we used to watch the news a lot. Like the news was always on in our house, because we were never allowed to watch like kids. Well, we were allowed, but like once it's past 7, once the baby stopped, you're not allowed to watch anything. And then afterwards, so it'd be the news. And I don't even think I was 6, maybe 8 I was. But then these were the times of general election. So we'd watch the debates together, and then my dad would like, and I'd be like, what does that mean? What is he talking about? And then he'd like explain it to me, and I'd be like, but that doesn't make sense. Why don't they do it this way? And then over the in July, I met the Prime Minister. He came to my school.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was it at the time? Was it David
Rishi.
Oh, was it Rishi?
Rishi Sunak. Let me have some respect, Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. Prime Minister.
I actually have to call him Mr. Prime Minister. We met the Prime Minister, and it was a good experience where you see how a political figure campaigns, even when they're not exactly campaigning for something. And it also showed me how to reach out to the local community. I was like, why does he want to come to this school in the middle of East London? Like, genuinely. We were just like, who even wants to come here? And then I was like, oh, I get it.
Michelle Obama came to your school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's because we're a girls' school and she was doing some like Let Girls Learn program.
Yeah.
But Rishi came and I was like, why is he even here? And then I deeped I'm like, he's outreaching to smaller communities. And that's what he wants to like do. But when Rishi came, we did that. Like many segments that go into like Prime Minister visits. We did the like, it was like a table discussion kind of thing. And then he was asking me like, why do you like doing Model UN? And I was like to him, I like doing Model UN because I like being in Security Council and I like having a veto power because that means I always get my way. And he literally laughed at me and I was like, it's true though. Like if I don't like something, I can just be like, no, absolutely not
That's
happening.
international politics
and
in a
literally,
nutshell.
and he was like, he was literally laughing at me and he was like, and I was like, but it makes sense. But not saying that that's what I like to carry myself in my own campaign. This is what do you want as a stimulation. But I find it so like funny to become the countries that are almost running the world. Because you see USA, UK, France, Russia, China, they literally have every other country wrapped around their little finger. I'm not being political.
It's okay.
Yeah, but you're the head of like the youth council, right?
But USA, I love learning about MUN because I love learning how international politics works, and then also shifting the roles that countries play to make them more inclusive. So everyone always says to me, for some reason I'm always allocated delegation of the United States, and everyone always says to me, why are you such a nice USA? And I was like, okay, like, they were like, you don't even fight anyone, you don't even like you don't say anything rude.
Yeah, where's the warfare?
They're like, where's the war? Oh no, I start a nuclear war every time. It's just a standard practice. But
no Model UN is like fit without nuclear war.
No Model UN is complete without a nuclear war or an assassination. I've been assassinated so many times. R.I.P. Germany. Unfortunately, the delegation of the USA was assassinated, and they're like, you died again. And I'm like, yeah, guys.
Technical difficulties. We'll be right back. The FBI weren't happy about that comment about Joe Biden, so we got intercepted. So we're back. Model UN is so lit. I did it in school.
Love it so much. Honestly, where I got all my skills that I've brought to like the whole campaign process, even in general now, like I think it's definitely taught me how, because you also have to be like, I mean, now I've progressed, so I'm a chair now, so I don't get to do the fun debates. I just have to be like, delegates decorum the whole time. But yeah, so it's definitely taught me like how to communicate with people, also how to make like how to have a friendly debate with someone, and also advocate on behalf of something you don't particularly agree with. So like it puts you in uncomfortable situations. It's taught me how to like speak on the spot and just think on my feet a lot more as well. Also think more inclusively, because when you're like creating resolutions, you're like, okay, but if I'm doing refugee women, if I'm gonna give like education about feminine hygiene, how do we know they're gonna come? How do we know they're gonna feel safe to come? Oh, we need to have female workers. Oh, we need to make sure we have segregated bathrooms. Oh, we need to make sure we have this. We need to make sure we have this for these type of things. And think there's like a lot of stuff that I've done in regards to like equality and justice in like the school community as well. That's really helped me with like this role and like think more openly as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's where it's all come from.
That's amazing. Like you've definitely got like a really strong skill set. Definitely, like I can see the experience of being able to talk on the spot, because we work with a lot of young people, and that's definitely something where it's a difficult skill to train. And yeah, no, it's amazing. I'm really looking forward to you kind of working on these manifesto pieces.
Thank you. I can't wait as well with the amazing team.
Yeah.
Literally can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting the rest of the.
Oh, they're great.
team.
You'll love them.
Yeah. We'll definitely come down with our.
We've always wanted to be a bit more involved, like the youth council. So I know COVID just took a few years.
Yeah.
Like just knocked us back for a while. So it's been something that we've been like talking about for such a long time. We've always had a good relationship with like the young mayor. But it's like we're just grateful that you've only just been kind of sworn into this role. It's like, yeah, sure, I'm up for this podcast. And hopefully it's the beginning of like, just keeping up to date with what's going on, changes that are taking place, where we can support what's happening here. So I'm really excited about what happens next.
I'm excited to invite you back on this after
I'm done.
No, well, after you're done, but also like whilst you're like in there, man.
Yeah, we can bring other candidates, other cabinet members.
Definitely. It'll be good to. I mean, we're gonna get another mic anyway, so it'll be good to have you and another one of your cabinet members. It'll be interesting insight. So, what's next? What's the immediate next step for you? Because you got elected last week. So last week or was it 2 weeks ago?
Well, they've sent me a bunch of stuff I need to go to, like meetings and stuff I have. I think we start fully working. Well, we're officially sworn in from the 1st of January. That's when like official duties start.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll start. I think we meet every Wednesday or something. We'll meet every week, and probably 2 hours sessions. Then working on all the stuff that we spoke about in our manifestos. I think a lot of our manifesto points are so similar. So probably amalgamating them and then working on like what's upcoming.
A really cool, I can't remember who it was, but one of the candidates were campaigning for more like food bushes and stuff to be planted.
Oh yeah, Richie.
Was it Richie?
Yeah.
I knew that
was cool, I can't lie. I was like, this girl's on it.
Great idea. Which episode were we speaking about this with? I think one of the most recent episodes we were literally talking about how it's one of the more frustrating things that we see around London when there's like new developments. It's always random bushes that they plant, and it's never something edible.
Bro, why am I just walking into this bush? I'm just trying to get home.
Yeah, like
it's like in the most random part ever.
If you're gonna put a bush there,
that's why it's in my manifesto as well, like improving the quality of green spaces.
Yep. Yeah, like we should have more like fruit trees and like we got a random. I think it's a thyme bush outside.
That's so cool.
That's like that. I think that might have been like guerrilla farming, like somebody must have planted that.
There's a project going on. There's stuff happening around Tower Hamlets.
Yeah, fully. Because I don't believe at the moment, because that's the only one. There's nothing else around it.
That'd be a good thing though, like a good initiative.
There are people doing that though. There is a project going on where they're finding like, this random spaces, like a little gap between two buildings and stuff, and actually figuring out what they can plant there.
That's so cool.
To like promote better air quality, or for foragers. So foraging is becoming, it's a new world that we've been exposed to. There's a lot of people that just go out and wild forage for stuff that they can just cook and eat and stuff. So I don't know, there are interesting things happening, but that's why I'm really fascinated to hear how you amplified like what you're doing, so people hear about it and at least engage, have the choice to whether or not they want to engage, right?
I think with young people now, it's more about engaging with them on a level where they feel like you get them. If I'm out here speaking about all my campaign points, I'm not gonna use like I'm gonna simplify it so you're like, oh, that makes sense. Because if I'm out here like, I aim to do this, and I like really like use all these big words, they're gonna get thrown off. They'll be like, no, I don't understand what you mean. But like with my campaign, it was more about how do I get young people to like look at this and understand what I'm saying. And then I think that's where it really comes into like getting young people more politically engaged and understanding, where they're subconsciously, they're taking in all this content and they're like, oh, young mayor elections 4th, 10th of December, got it, I'll vote.
What do you think is like making young people like just apathetic towards politics, like they don't want to get involved in it or aren't interested?
I think it's a lack of education because we see schools have to be apolitical and impartisan. So what often happens is, okay, if schools can't teach them, they'll probably learn from whoever's at home. They'll probably just vote for whatever political party their families are voting for without doing their own, undertaking their own research of like what different political parties stand for, and then learning from there. So I think what genuinely needs to happen is young people need to be more like exposed to politics and learn more about it. Like we've seen with what's happening in Gaza at the moment, a lot of young people taking a stand. And while that's great, there are a number of people, you pull them aside, ask them questions, they genuinely don't know what they're standing for. And I'm like, you guys need to make an informed decision before you just stand. Like, I think social media activism has been so good but also so detrimental at the same time, because what happens is, oh, this conflict's trending, I'll stand for that. And then so you'll see like one post about this one tiny conflict happening and you'll just be like, oh well, no one else is talking about it, why should I? But that's exactly why you should. Like not a lot of people know, but in the Tigray region of Ethiopia there was recently a genocide.
Really?
That it actually started in 2020 and only stopped, was it this year? I think it was early this year. So like January times. And in that, I think it was 600,000 people died.
Wow.
Even still now there's like large effects of like famine and stuff, and a lot of people didn't stand for it or like talk about it. And it's like, well, if it takes something to go viral for things to speak about, then are we really living in a world of activism? Or is it one where only the trending thing, by the way, no shade to like anyone, I think everything needs to be spoken about, but
definitely
if you're gonna speak about things, you need to make sure you're making an informed decision. And also young people aren't really keeping up with today's times, so that's also
it's tough. Like even like the big thing that I'm still shocked that it isn't getting enough press attention, considering all of this is involved, is what's going on in Congo, because batteries, we
literally
rely on it for
everyday lives we use,
and we want to move electrical, so we're talking about let's become an electric cars, electric this.
Exactly.
The batteries come from somewhere.
At what cost, right?
And what, you know what I mean, like it's just you're paying blood for it. But it's not a subject people really want to.
Because as soon as you realize not everyone is talking about it, people feel this thing like, well, if I talk about it, what's it gonna do?
Do you think
if everyone thought like that, then no one would speak, and that's what's happening here.
Do you think that people, especially young people, are just overwhelmed with the amount of knowledge that they are consuming? There's so much going on. It's like,
I think,
whatever you consume yesterday, you're on to the next topic tomorrow. And the other thing is, do you think young people are aware of the power that they have?
I think that's the problem, where they underestimate the power that they have. And then in terms of like being overwhelmed with things, what happens is they'll see one thing and then they'll believe it, and then it won't turn out to be true. And then there's this constant cycle of people not doing enough research. Do you know how we say our parents believe everything on Facebook? We believe everything on TikTok. And
Facts.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
Facts.
Can you give me some examples for more older bees out there?
Things that people believe on TikTok.
Like something recently you saw happen in school, and everybody seemed to jump on it.
There was that girl from Tower Hamlets that went viral. They were saying that she was attacking someone, but she was being racially abused. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Like people were...
They said that this girl beat her up.
So she was the victim?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's been racially abused. Like,
to be honest, that's not... It is a good example, but there's like big things like... have you heard of what's it called? The maths homework thing, Sparks?
I think I remember seeing something about this recently.
Yeah, so Sparks apparently all of a sudden supports Israel. They literally do maths homework. So now people are boycotting Sparks. They're not doing their Sparks.
They're not doing maths.
I said, your school pays for this. They've already paid for the whole year. There's no point
mad.
Do your homework.
That is mad.
Guys, please pass your GCSEs.
So
Yeah.
You need GCSEs.
people have stopped doing maths as a form of protest.
I don't know if it was a joke or not. But like
Yeah.
things like that, they'll see and they'll be like, yeah, we need to boycott this. Or like, oh, there's something, I'm trying to think.
But do you find though, is if people have like knee-jerk reactions to things and
Yeah.
they jump on something quickly, I don't know how much conviction they've put into that decision that they've made. Does that mean that they can just as easily change their mind, or it's like
No,
that's
because
it?
as soon as they first consume that content, they will believe it.
Got you. And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You've lost them there.
Yeah,
Quite dangerous.
because you move on to the next video, and your first reference point is going to always be
That first
that video, and so
And then you do your research and like, that's completely wrong.
But you'll always have that doubt. I even find it with myself. Like I really have to.
I mean, you could even say that about what's happening now in Gaza,
Yeah.
where how the Hamas attack being first means that everyone thinks that the Gazans then have to pay the price.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's more like, well, if you think back far enough and you do your research, how can you make an informed decision about this?
Even with that,
Decades
you know,
of
there's been
oppression,
lots of stuff that have been coming out where there's been false, like fake, literally fake news that has been reported on by all the media, and then they backtrack saying, "Oh, actually, it turns out that's not true."
I literally
People
read
still
it.
don't believe it.
Do you know what's so funny is we'll send things like this to our MUN group chat all the time, and we're like, this literally sounds like an MUN announcement. What world are we living in? Are we playing our roles too well, or are they messing up? Like, what's going on?
It's mad. It's mad.
But I think this has definitely taught young people the power of activism.
Facts,
Because
yeah.
if you look back on, like, did you see the protest that happened at Whitechapel? I said, what is going on here? I couldn't go. I had lesson. But also we were told not to. Okay, we'll cut this part out.
Okay.
But if you learn about, like, when you look back at that, you genuinely think, oh, well, if kids feel this passionately about this, if only they thought about they use this energy when also making political decisions.
Yeah.
Because, like, what else? What bigger impact could we be making in other sectors if we channeled this energy there as well, and also effectively used things to, like, make political standpoints?
Yeah.
Again, like, for what you believe in. Because what we see a lot of the time is our generation will constantly downplay everything. Be like, oh, like, people are scared to say something full out, and they'll have to they'll feel the need to justify themselves. And so as, like, there's a huge lack of confidence in our generation. If people genuinely believed in their own abilities and stood up for what they believed in, we could be making such a big impact right now.
Definitely. And a big part of that comes down to understanding your rights and what kind of soft powers you might have. You might not have the ability to vote, but that doesn't mean that you're politically constricted, because there's a lot that young people can affect. You know what I mean? Even some of our young people here, we you know what I mean, they've got the ability to shape what our organization is doing, and therefore how we operate and what our relationship looks like with other organizations. If our young people turned around and said, oh, actually, we don't agree with what so-and-so are doing, we don't think that LIC should be supporting that, we have no choice but to kind of to really kind of take them seriously. And you know what I mean, there's things that young people can do, so it's not even just here. So.
Yeah, where you fled, I mean, we set up as a group of young people because we wanted to cut out the middle person. Some of the adults in charge that we used to turn to when I was about 18, 19 years old, we've kind of let down by them. So like, well, how do we get money to run projects for other young people that we know nobody else is serving? How do we do that? And that's always been like at the
why. So I joined, I've told this on the podcast before, but I joined when I was 14, and Said was the first person that I met at a music program.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm 28 now, so it's been a minute.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
That's like half your life.
I know, and
that sounds like a lot.
I know that, you know what, when you put it like that. But one of the big reasons why I stayed here and I'm still here is because where school didn't allow me to speak up, because I was very frustrated with school. I was a lot like you in terms of how when you was describing, like, super politically minded and kind of very active in terms of wanting to do something, but I was super restricted at my school. My school didn't allow any kind of activism, and LIC was that space for me. So I did work experience in Parliament shadowing the cabinet secretary at the time. And that was they made me sign an official Secrets Act, everything. I got to follow this guy around with like all these official meetings, get a proper insight. I got to speak at like Parliament several times, not once, several times. We went there. We did. My favorite thing was, we haven't done it for a while, since 2020, but we had this thing called Be Heard events, where we would get all the big decision makers. So we used to get the mayor of Tower Hamlets, we used to get the heads of different like housing associations,
police,
heads of police, like the senior police people, and we had 100 young people all questioning them, saying, why are you not doing this, why are you not doing that? And it was the local MP, local councillors, everybody was like, up on stage. I loved it because I was
it reminds me of our youth conference.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Because you got that fire.
Things like this remind me of what the importance of like things being student led, and I think a lot of young people are very put off by that term, because it means, I have to start this whole thing by myself. Who's even gonna come? But student led doesn't exactly mean that you do it all yourself. It just means that you lead. And what we really do need is more work from schools to support students with things that they're passionate about. Because me personally, when I was in lower school, we started an equalities group, completely student-led, but we literally had one teacher who'd just be like, okay, you want to do this? Okay, I hope you do it from the teachery side, but you guys do it all of yourselves. But on our own, mostly led by me, but we literally organized International Mother Languages Day, first ever culture day in our school's history, to raise money in so the first time we did it, only the members of the equalities group and sixth form were allowed to dress up. Second time we did it, whole school was allowed to dress up for the first time ever. And then we do a cultures fair, everything. Raised £1,000 in a single day.
Wow.
For the earthquake in, what was it? It was in Turkey. It's been so long.
How old was you when you did that? Like when you started it?
I started when I was like 14.
Yep.
And then, I've obviously stopped because I'm not in lower school anymore.
No, but it's just a message of hope for people, other 14-year-olds out there and younger, right?
Yeah, I did it from like 14 to 16.
Wow. Yeah.
So like, I only stopped this year. And then also like focused on like making working on the micro inequalities in our school system, talking about our experiences where we felt a certain way about things. And then especially having a teacher there, learning about her, seeing like what we've done. And I think it's things like that are really important, because you genuinely do feel heard, and things like that are like really important for like schools in general, and for students to feel more empowered by that.
What would be your advice for like other young people listening to this? That like, who should they seek out? Like you mentioned, it's student led. That means you're leading, but you need other people around the table. You need buy-in. I'm assuming from people in the school, and I'm not sure who else. So like who helped get it off the ground and who helped along the journey?
I can't really answer this question, because my school's weird where we have so many different roles. So the person who helped me was our global educations officer, something like that. But she helped us with that. But there are so many different roles in our school that it's like there's literally specific teachers to go to and they'll sort it out for you. But any other young people, I would say, go to a teacher you think is determined to help you make this happen, and ready to, they'll put the work in and they actually care about your projects. Also, when I was in like year 9, we fund, like this is COVID times 2, we fundraised for Palestine within our year group, year 9, and we couldn't do much. I think, what did we do? We did, oh my days, we got our like fill out a sheet. Who do you think it is?
Now, was there a point where it started going black and white? You're like, okay, you know who's...
Yeah, I think there was. There actually was. There was a point where it did go black and white. Yeah, there were a few. But like things like that, make sure you find it like that. It was literally just our form tutor who helped us with that. And with other things is like finding someone who you know will support you and will back you and do the administrative work. Do you get what I mean? So it's like there's some teachers you can ask them for help, they'll agree to help, but they won't respond to their emails. They'll be very uncooperative, won't meet you for meetings, and won't help out. Find a teacher you know will support you and will do the work that they need to do, and also has the time. Don't do it in exam season, they'll actually kill you. But yeah, just take those things into account. Take into account your teacher's balance as well. Like heads of years, they're always great, but they also have a lot on their plate. Same applies to like deputies and stuff like that. If you could just find a trusted teacher to help you support it, and email other teachers, because the teachers will take it. You can't tell a teacher what to do. A teacher has to tell another teacher what to do. So make sure you just think about it like that before you start.
That's great advice.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll start wrapping up there because it's getting quite late now.
Been so fun.
Yeah. Do you wanna shout out anyone? Do you wanna promote anything?
I want to shout out my campaign team. They all know who they are. If I list them, it's gonna be too long. I'll list a few. I'll say
and plug where people can follow you as well and keep up to date what our new young mayor is going to be getting up to.
You can follow me at Fetuma_young mayor TH, and shout out to Maria, Aisha, Afrin, Nura, Tara, Marwa, Humaira, and Nahima.
Amazing. And do you have any parting words?
It's been great. Thank you guys so much for having me. Can't wait to see the final how the episode turns out, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I talk a bit too much, so I'm so sorry.
No, you're in the right company, and that was so professional, by the way.
This is a podcast. This is a podcast. It's for talking too much. This is my outlet.
And thank you for making it easy on me on probably what I hope is my one and only time co-hosting.
Dressing as a bee.
Yeah, but you made it really enjoyable as well. Like I'm just in awe. This was such a cool conversation.
It's cool, isn't it? This was fun.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to releasing this. But let's do the outro. So thank you. I've been your host, Mo.
I've been co-host Saib.
And don't forget to follow us at Leaders in Community, at Community Tells, and like,
comment, and subscribe.
Because
you're a millennial too, clearly.
Nah, because we
take his job.
Listen, 95. I'm a zillennial. Zillennial.
Just almost
in
there.
the middle.
Almost there.
I'm
a millennial or what?
I'm a zillennial.
But what's after that?
Oh, it's because Gen Z starts from 1996.
Yeah.
So I'm a millennial.
Oh yeah.
Round about old people.
But yeah, whatever the rating is, because this is gonna be on Spotify, Apple. I don't know what all of them are. Just give us a good review. Come on, like we're dressed as bees. Have pity on us. Thank you.